Hello, everybody. We have a new live feed. We are actually live in several places right now. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. 3 different pages actually on Facebook. So we have this awesome new software for doing live feeds, and this is the first one. So I'm excited. I'm still learning some of the features, so bear with me. We've got some epic music going on in the background here. Get everybody pumped up a little bit. I'll turn that down here in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this series. I don't know how many of you guys are already following Tom. He's the account manager for cleaning restoration here at Clean Pro Supply. He's been 100% consistent doing a video every single night, even when he was sick. I think he even did one when he was on vacation. So I want to supplement some of the stuff that he's doing. He's doing more restoration stuff, some business operations and some other things, but I want to come in at a little bit of a different angle, teach you guys some things that I learned from experience out in the field, also from being here at Clean Pro Supply, all different types of things. So this video is going to be focused on residential home service businesses. I'm going to bring our epic music down a notch here. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. So firing on all cylinders for residential. This time of year, if you're in the cleaning and restoration industry, you're probably really busy. Holiday time right now in December is peak season for restoration contractors, even more so in January when things are freezing and thawing. And then, of course, throughout the rest of the winter. But for carpet cleaners, right before the holidays, this is peak season for you guys. So you may not even see this video until tonight or tomorrow or next week or ever because you guys are swamped. If you're not swamped, this video is actually great for you because this is going to give you some tips and pointers for how to stay busy without paying any money or very little money for marketing. Almost all of these I've done myself, and for the ones that I did not do myself, I wish I did. When I was out in the field doing home service businesses, because I did several different things myself. So I'm going to jump right in. I have a list of topics that I want to go through. Of course, you guys are welcome to comment on the video. I'll probably reply after the video just because we're streaming live in so many places right now. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to keep up on the comments during the video, but after the fact, I'll definitely reach out and either comment to your comment or reply to your comment, or I'll just reach out one-on-one and we can chat. But firing on all cylinders, residential, this is not going to be anything commercial related because commercial is a little bit of a different approach. This is primarily for residential homeowners. I guess maybe for some people, if they're tenants, if they're renting an apartment or renting a house, but mostly residential homeowners. Marketing 101 for owner-operator home service businesses. So if you're an owner-operator, maybe you have 1 employee, 2 employees, or maybe you have 2 or 3 crews on the road and you're just managing it. Small business, home service business. So I'm going to start off, give some examples from carpet cleaning and tile and grout cleaning and upholstery cleaning. Of course, we have some people in these groups for epoxy floor business, maybe a little bit of maintenance, maybe a little bit of janitorial, maybe a little bit of home cleaning. But mostly this is going to be based around carpet cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, and upholstery cleaning. So my notes, I'm going to dive right into SEO. And I'm going to go through this kind of fast because I'm not going to go into too much detail. Otherwise, this will be a 10-hour video. So I'm just going to make this brief. But hopefully you guys will learn quite a bit here. So on-site SEO and off-site SEO. And back to the tune of firing on all cylinders, we want to hit everything from all directions. Have you ever run an engine that had a misfire? If your spark plugs are bad or your wires are bad or fuel injectors are clogged or something, you have to put fuel injector cleaner in your car every once in a while, or you have to change your spark plugs every once in a while, change the coil pack. If your engine in your vehicle is not firing on all cylinders, it is not a smooth running vehicle, just like your business. You want to be hitting from all cylinders if you want to be running a smooth operating business, getting leads and getting business and referrals from all directions. So that's where I got that name, firing on all cylinders. So back to the list. On-site SEO, your website is you. That's your image of what you do. You may not even get leads from your website, but anytime someone doesn't know about you, where's the first place they're going to go to check you out? They're going to look at your website. They're going to look at what Google says about you, and they're going to look on social media. So on-site SEO is very important, not just for the content, but how Google sees your site. That's how it's going to rank your site on Google. So a couple of very basic things. You need to have a page title on your website. If you don't have a page title and it just says WordPress, if you made the site yourself, get that fixed. If you're paying someone to do your on-site SEO, that is a massive red flag that if your page title isn't even like a title for your business, that has to be updated. And I would very quickly change your marketing agency or company or individual if you don't even have a page title on your website. So in the very least, you have to have a page title. You need to have keywords, meta keywords, search keywords, meta description. That way Google knows what your business is about. That way it can display your business at the top of Google to make sure that it's relevant for the searches that people are doing on Google or Yahoo or Bing or wherever they're searching. Beyond that, a sitemap. You want to have your sitemap visible so that Google can see it, because your sitemap is basically your web, your spider web of your website. It's going to contain information about your website that Google's going to crawl to make sure, again, that your website is relevant, has the right information, because if it doesn't think it's relevant, it's not going to display you on Google for a top result for people searching for your business. Google thinks of relevancy. That's how it's going to rank you. If someone comes to Google and says, carpet cleaners near me, Google's going to search everything in the area, and it's going to find websites that have content that's going to be most relevant to that search and display them up top. Of course, ads aside. So sitemap is very important because that's what Google's going to see for all the pages on your website to make sure they're all linking to each other. A contact us page, because there's very important information on that contact us page. And you want to make sure that's also the same content that's everywhere else on the internet. So make sure the phone number is up to date and current and consistent across all platforms, all listings, all directories, all websites, all social media. Of course, on your own website's the most important because that's you. But email, phone number. If you don't want to display your address on there, that's totally fine. But at the very least, an email, a phone number, a contact us form so they can reach out to you. Basic information. About us is great to do. You can use ChatGPT to write an about us description for you. You can grab some random information on your website, talk a little bit about yourself, throw it into ChatGPT. It'll make a really nice, quick, simple about us page for your website. Your marketing person is probably already doing that anyway, but if you're doing it yourself, that's very helpful so that people know about you, the history of you, how long you've been in business, a little bit about you to make it personal, put up a picture of you and your family or you and your pets or whatever you want to do. That just personalizes it. But the About Us page is really nice to have. And Google is also looking for it too. If you don't have an About Us page, it's not going to be as relevant according to Google. A frequently asked questions list and or vlog with a V, videos. Great to have on there, because not only are you answering questions, your website's going to have the questions, it's going to answer the questions, but then if you have YouTube links, they're going to act as backlinks to those FAQs. And then you can, have you or maybe your actual cleaners in the field or whoever's doing the work that's going to interact with the customers, have them on those YouTube videos answering those questions. Text is great because people can read it. Videos are even better because then they're going to not only hear you or maybe watch your videos with closed caption if they're just, maybe their audio is off or something. Maybe they're watching your videos in bed or getting ready in the morning for work and they don't want to have their audio on because it's early and people are still sleeping or whatever. Those closed captions are nice for YouTube videos, but having the vlog on there for FAQs are great. And then also you can share those videos with people so that whenever they ask you a question, maybe you're in the middle of carpet cleaning and they ask a question, you can say, oh, I'll send you a link to answer that question. That may be a 5-minute video. That's going to save you 5 minutes on the job. And you're probably going to end up sharing that link quite a bit. So having those FAQs on there are good for on-site SEO, but also just for your own resource to be able to share those links with people. So all things that you can do on the site, very simple to do, very easy and free or very cheap, at least if you're paying someone to manage your website. They're kind of like, must-haves for marketing 101. Moving to off-site SEO. There's a couple things here. We have Google My Business. You want to make sure that's very accurate, of course, same as on your website. Address up to date, phone number up to date, email up to date, hours up to date, have a list of your service items that are on there, as much information you can plug into your Google My Business. Now it's actually on the Maps, Google Maps section. It's not really its own page, but Google My Business would be great to have all that information on there as much as possible. Facebook public. This is an interesting one that I didn't know about until maybe a year ago. You have to go into the settings of your Facebook business page. And I'm not talking about your personal page. I'm talking about your Facebook business page. Your Facebook business page audience, you need to have that turned on for all audience, all age groups. By default, your Facebook business page is only going to display to people who are over 18 years old. And the reason for why this is important isn't because of the age. It's just because of the access. If someone does not have Facebook and you want them to see your Facebook page, they can't see your Facebook page content unless they log in, if you have the age restriction turned on. And the reason for that, obviously, is because you don't want to have kids, visiting Facebook pages that they're not supposed to be on unless they're 18. So if your Facebook page is viewable to the public of all ages, it's not going to require that login. That means people who click on your link on Google or anywhere else, they're going to see that information a lot faster and a lot easier. Whereas if you have that age restriction turned on instead of off, then the only way that person is going to be able to see your Facebook page content quickly and easily is if they actually log into Facebook. If they have Facebook, sometimes that's just annoying. They're going to click off of it. But if they don't have Facebook, they're going to miss all of that content because they can't even log in to see it. So a very small detail, but it's very important to get people to actually see the content that you have on your Facebook page, because I know a lot of you guys obviously have probably more content on your Facebook pages than you do your own website. So having the address on your page, your Facebook business page, having that visible. The only way Facebook is going to collect reviews is if you have an actual physical address on your Facebook business page. If you have that turned off, you're not going to be able to collect reviews. So have it turned on. Once you have at least 5 reviews on that account, those reviews will be visible. So I have a little rule of thumb. If any of my B2B customers or partners or friends leaves a review for our business in an honest, ethical way, I'm going to return the favor as well, because we're all business owners. And if you're happy with our service, you leave us a review. I'm happy for that. I appreciate that support. I'm going to return the favor, of course, to you, and I'm going to leave a review on your business page as well about my experience with you. So a way to just collaborate and help each other out. QR codes on invoices or business cards or flyers, anywhere that you have your phone number or your email address, I would recommend having a QR code for a Google link and or a Facebook link as well. The more reviews you can get, the more frequent you can get them, and the more consistent you can get them, the better. It's not going to help you by just doing 30 reviews in January 1st and then not doing a single review again until January 1st of the following year. These social media platforms and Google want to see consistent reviews on a regular basis. Consistency is probably more important than quantity from Google's eyes, but then of course from everyone that's looking at your business, the quantity of reviews is also very important as well. So making it very easy for people to give you a review, links and emails every time you send an invoice or an estimate or a follow-up or anything like that. Any type of digital communication that you can give through an email, having a Facebook and or a Google review link would be great, maybe even for Yelp or even Yahoo. Whatever platforms you want to collect reviews on, having those quick links are very beneficial to get reviews. Respond to those reviews, because if they leave a review, that's great. But then step 2 is to go back within, I don't know, maybe a day or less, if you can, and just respond to those reviews. And all you have to do is say, thanks, I appreciate your support. Thank you for the feedback, whatever it might be. Again, Google and these other search platforms are going to see that as you interacting back with a customer. The more you interact with your audience, the more these search platforms are going to view you as relevant, because you're active, you're interactive. Just like Facebook, the more you're interactive with a video or a post, the more people are going to see that. So they kind of dwell on either drama or audience or interactivity or whatever it is. So the more you can interact, the better. So respond to those reviews in maybe even an hour if you can. Getting reviews frequent, often, I mentioned that. Asking people for reviews at the job site, that's very important, because if you just send them a link, they may or may not. But anytime you leave a job, there's no issue by just saying, hey, do you mind leaving me a Google review or a Facebook review or both based on your experience with my service today? And then just smile and look at them. And it's kind of an awkward silence sometimes, but it works because it kind of doesn't make it tense, but someone has to break that silence. So they're almost forced. You don't want to force anyone to do anything, of course, but just the psychology of it. You want to get them to just say, oh, sure. And then you say, great, I'll send you a link right now. And they can pick up their phone and they just do it. So that worked for me. I'm sure I was not the highest reviewed service business out there. But when I did that, I wish I did it more consistently. But when I did that, I definitely got a lot of reviews because you're almost kind of putting them on the spot. Now, if you're going to do this and make them uncomfortable, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you can do it in a way where it's just a little bit of a squeeze that creates that sense of urgency to, hey, do it now because I thrive on referrals. I'm a small business owner and this is how I get business to feed my family. Most people are going to be more than happy to do that for you. So asking for reviews right then and there while you're at the job site and then giving them a link or a QR code is one of the easiest ways to do that. So, alrighty, moving on a little bit, content. You can do this content on your website or off your website, but a lot of this content is going to be, well, actually, it's really all over the place. So like reviews, you want to put content out there on a regular basis, consistently, and with a similar theme and feel. So the reason why I chose this virtual background, this is actually Tom's virtual background. I'm sitting in my office right now. I don't know if I can even, no, I'd have to go through and change my settings, but if I move around a lot, you can see the blur because this isn't my real background. Tom created this background for his videos and I really like it. And because I like him doing it and I want to keep a similar theme, it helps with the branding. So keeping colors similar to your logo or whatever it might be, all that's very beneficial. So anyway, back to content. Pictures, videos, short videos, try to stay away from long videos. But the more you can post to your website, the better for pictures. Maybe have a photo gallery, or maybe have something that integrates with an API connection directly to either Facebook or Google Maps where you're going to post your pictures there. Try to get your pictures everywhere though, because again, back to firing on all cylinders, if you have a 6-cylinder car and you're only firing on 3 cylinders, you're just putzing around. You're not really going to go full throttle. So if you can get pictures on all platforms, the more API connections you can have, the better. There's even software out there that'll just push. You can load your pictures into one piece of software. It'll just push that content everywhere. But my recommendation from an SEO perspective, and just for customers to see current information, to see that you're current visually, is once a week. Now, if you can't do that and stay on top of that because you're too busy, great. Okay, do twice or do once every 2 weeks, but make it consistent, at least once a month. If the most recent content on your page was from a month ago, you need to get something on there now. Do it right at, as soon as you're done watching this video, go throw some content up there. I'm sure you have pictures on your cell phone that you've taken from your jobs. So on your website, on Google, on Yahoo, on Yelp, Facebook. The one thing that a lot of people I think forget the most though is Google. That's the #1 place people go to search proactively for your services. And it's probably the most commonly forgotten place to post content. So everyone's so hyped up on posting to Facebook, YouTube, maybe Yahoo, Instagram, TikTok. That's all great. But from an advertising and marketing perspective, that's not where people are going. That's not where your customers are going to find you as much. They're probably going to Google. So the more you can pump that to Google and keep your Google, and I'm a victim of this too. I forget constantly to post to Google, and we have meetings every week with our staff about marketing and about sales and follow up and all that. And even myself, I constantly forget to talk about Google, and I need to hold myself accountable to that more frequently as well. But the more we can talk about it, remind everybody, the better. So if you can post to Google, get the name of that file relevant to what's in that picture, because that's what Google sees. Get your description with just a couple keywords about what's in that image or that video, because again, that's what Google sees. So think of all the back-end data that a digital computer is going to look at. AI, of course, can see images, and they're pretty intelligent when it's scrubbing content if you don't have anything on there as far as file names or descriptions, whatever. But the more you can make it easy for customers, or the more you can make it easy for the computers to read what's in your information or in your content, the further it's going to go and the better it's going to perform. So change the name of the file, carpet cleaning in a residential living room. I don't know, something like that. And then elaborate a little bit in the description of it. So again, yeah, Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can do Reels, you can do stories. You can use the same information on all platforms, whatever works for you. Asking customers to take pictures, that's also very helpful, because when you post your own content, you're reaching your audience. But then if you can get the customers to take pictures or videos and then ask them to share that on their social media, maybe while you're doing it, or if, sometimes it's a little bit awkward for them to just film you live. It's kind of weird, but it honestly works. It goes far. You'd be amazed how far that goes when a homeowner takes a video of you cleaning a tile and you can just see the night and day difference of that grout cleaning up. It just, sometimes they just go wild because everyone on their audience is just, they're seeing it, especially if it's live. But if they can do a live video or just a short video and then upload it, or even just a picture to show before and after, maybe a picture of you and them, or just a picture of you, whatever you're able to get that shows content and you can get your branding in front of their audience, that's going to create referrals as well. People are going to start calling you because their best friend, whatever, just did carpet cleaning or whatever the service was. That's how you get referrals organically. After that, you can say to that homeowner, who do you know? Don't say do you, because you don't want to make this a closed question. You don't want them to just say yes or no. You want to say, who do you know that would also benefit from my services? Now they're not going to say no. It doesn't even give them the option to say no. This is just sales psychology. Who do you know that can also benefit from my services? Or you can tweak that up a little bit, but make sure you say, who do you know? Who do you know that would, you think might want to get their carpets cleaned before Christmas? Now they're going to think, well, my neighbor next door, my mom, my brother-in-law, anyone who's going to have people over maybe, or maybe they know someone that just is really, really picky on how clean their house is, whatever it might be. That's going to instantly give you names, and you say, oh, great. Can you give me their phone numbers and I'll call them there. Or, hey, while I'm packing up the van, would you do me a big favor and just call them and see if they may have interest in get me on the schedule within the next week or so before the holidays? Because I thrive on referrals, and any way that I can do a referral program, maybe give you a referral bonus or a referral discount, and or them, I'd much rather pay you or them a referral bonus than paying Google or Facebook in advertising costs. Most people, probably 99 out of 100, will give you at least one name. This worked for me all the time. The problem was I just forgot to ask all the time. But when I did ask, I almost always got at least one name of somebody that I could get on the calendar very soon, or right then and there before I even left. And it takes the pressure off a little bit if you say, hey, who do you know that may want carpet cleaning before Christmas? I'll go pack up my van. If you don't mind giving them a call and just see if they're available, I'll get them on the calendar right now. I'll give both of you guys a referral bonus, or a discount or whatever it might be. So, and then after that, once you're all wrapped up and they complete your payment, for the service you just did right then and there, the last question is, and this is how you really put the icing on the cake: what frequency do you want to get your carpets cleaned? What frequency do you want to get your tile and grout cleaned? What else do you want cleaned in your house that maybe we didn't do today? And what frequency would you want that done? Again, don't give them the option to say no, just get an answer. Is it 12 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months? Is it 3 years? Whatever information they give, say, okay, awesome. You want me to pull my calendar out and get you on the calendar now? And then my software will give you a notice a month in advance to remind you of our next visit. And then I'll call to confirm the week prior or even the day prior. Leverage your software and get them on the calendar now, because that's what's going to book you up next year. This worked really good for my guys in the winter when we would try to get service 6 months out. So when we're busy in the summer, we would do this constantly. Hey, would you want to get on the calendar for right before the holidays? Oh, or what's your frequency? And they say, oh, maybe 8 to 12 months. Okay, well, in 6 months we have the holidays. Can I get you in the calendar now for November or December so we can get you clean before the holidays? And then again, early in the summer of the following year. So that way we're not doing it during peak season. And that helps you stay busy in your slow times if you're not busy in this time of year in the holidays, or maybe even in January. Maybe they don't want holiday cleaning and they just want to just do a general cleaning, or even spring cleaning. Maybe they're hibernating in January, and come April they want to open everything up and do spring cleaning. Okay, cool. What better time than right now to get them scheduled for April, so that way it's already on the calendar and you don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about it, and you just show up. So I had customers, and I'm sure you guys do too. I had customers that would clean every 3 months. Then I had some that would clean every 2 years. And probably the majority was like 8 to 12 months. But that's a great way to get that. Again, don't say when, or don't say, would you like to schedule another job? Because they'll just probably say, oh, no, I'll call you when it comes time. just say, what frequency do you want to have this done? Cleaning your carpet's kind of like doing the laundry. So how long is someone going to go without cleaning their own laundry? Maybe once a week. Anything beyond that, it's kind of scary. I guess maybe depending on how many clothes you have, maybe they can go 2 weeks if they got a lot of clothes or something. But some people go every day. I don't know. But what frequency do you want to get your carpets cleaned? Maybe a little bit different than your tile and grout, because of course it's a little bit of a different situation there. But some great things you can do for content, naturally, no cost, and then just some very basic, I guess you can almost call them sales skills with a one-on-one approach. So moving on quickly to a couple other topics. I don't want to get too deep in some of these, but I definitely want to touch on them. Referral programs. If you don't have a referral program, you have to have one. That's one of your core cylinders. If you're missing a referral program in any way, shape, or form, you're not running on all cylinders. Google ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. I never did Instagram ads, but it's definitely more common now. Even TikTok is a lot more common now. It's just a little bit over my head. I'm more versed in Google and Facebook myself, but Google is great for people finding you. You're gonna rank at the top when they're actually looking for you. Facebook's a little bit more of disruptive advertising. They're gonna find you when they're not looking for you. So it's a little bit of a different approach, and you can get customers in both ways. But if it's not managed correctly, you're gonna piss away a lot of money and not get anything. So if you're doing any kind of paid advertising, pay attention to it. Make sure your ROI and your ROAS, return on ad spend, is where you want it to be based on your budget. I like Google. If I had to pick one of those, I'd probably pick Google, because that's where people are proactively going the most. Event sponsorships. If you have kids that are on any sports teams, Little League Baseball, any of that, anywhere you see maybe like local pizza places advertising, a lot of the times those are great places to advertise. It wouldn't be my first place to go, but if you have a really good marketing plan, a marketing campaign, and you're all over the place, everywhere you look, you see your company. Events are great. Sporting events are great. Little leagues, kids sports, school programs, whatever the case might be. I do like all of those. They're really nice. They're usually pretty cheap too for the audience you're going to get, and it just gives you that small town feel. So radio, I wouldn't. I don't think it's a good return on investment unless you're the biggest guy in town. That's just going to give you that dominating impact when you're already everywhere. You throw a radio ad on, it's kind of like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They don't need to advertise. Everybody knows about them, but they just dominate the market. And if they stop, it's going to be kind of weird. They of course they're going to always continue to market. They've got plenty of money to market. It just keeps them at the top to be that dominator. So if you're dominating, radio, sure, TV, sure. But if you're not dominating, I wouldn't waste the money. You're going to spend a lot of money for very little return on investment. That's just my perspective. I could be wrong, but that's what I've seen in the past. Billboards, same thing. Billboard marketing. There's nothing worse than you putting up a billboard, spending $6,000 for a month or 2 months if you're lucky, and you don't get a single call because someone else is the dominator in your market. I call billboard marketing just awareness of the service more so than your brand. Unless you've got a really powerful brand or people just know your brand, then that works. But you already have to be relevant in your marketplace in order to pull that, because if nobody knows what you are, seeing a picture of, and I see this all over the place, people have a cartoon character as your mascot for your business. It's very common. I'm not criticizing that. I'm totally cool with that. I got a buddy who has his dog, his puppy dog is basically his mascot on the side of his van. Cool, it personalizes it, and he's got a story to tell behind it. It works. It's awesome. But if nobody knows him or what his business is, it's having a picture of that dog is not going to create calls. So you have to generate that awareness first, and then you can do that. So I wouldn't go doing a billboard if people don't even know who you are yet. But if you're working your way towards dominating your market, the billboard will work. Otherwise, it's just going to cause your audience to call your competitor who is already dominating over you. And nothing's worse than spending marketing dollars or advertising dollars for those calls to go to your competitor. It'd kind of be like your competitor using your business as a keyword. So every time your business or your audience searches for your business, your competition pops up, and then they contact your competition. That's not fun because then it's pissing away your budget and they're getting the business. So anyway, vehicle wraps, yes, 100%, because that's what creates the awareness. Every time you pull onto a job site, whether it's residential or commercial, or you're driving down the street or whatever it is, the wrap on your van or your trailer that is your moving billboard. It's where the job is actually happening. It's creating the neighbors are nosy. When they hear noise, engines, whatever it is in your equipment, they hear something loud. They want to know what's going on. The first thing they're going to look and see is that wrap. So I highly, highly recommend a wrap on every vehicle. Does everybody do it? No. Commercial, not as much of a thing, but for residential, oh yeah. It also builds trust because nobody really wants to see a plain white creeper van pulling into someone's driveway, especially if the neighbor knows that the homeowner you're working at, maybe they're on vacation or they're at work, and the neighbors know that. And then this creepy white van pulls into the driveway with no lettering on it, no marking on it. They may even call the cops because, hey, this is a $1 million home and there's a random van pulling into this driveway, and oh, the garage just opened and I think someone's getting broken into. You don't want that. So if you got a really big billboard wrap on your vehicle, then that just completely takes that off the radar for anyone looking and seeing what's going on. And of course, hopefully gains a referral out of it too. Home shows, I love home shows. Some people don't like home shows. I'm a big fan of home shows, but you have to manage them effectively and you have to qualify your leads. So whether you're doing epoxy-based service or epoxy jobs or cleaning jobs or whatever, it doesn't matter. The approach is the same. If you just go to a home show, hand out business cards, get 500 leads and go on 400 estimates, you're going to waste a lot of time and your closing rate is going to be like 5% if you're lucky. So I would not manage a home show that way. The way I would manage a home show is say, keep your price up there. You want to pitch quality. You want to pitch high end. That'll weed out all the price shoppers, and that'll weed out all the people that are just going to waste your time and be tire kickers, window shoppers, whatever you want to call them. If I'm doing an epoxy floor in a garage and maybe my average price is $3,500 to charge a customer, at a home show, I'm probably going to say 2-car garages. Maybe 3,500 is my average, but I'm going to say at a home show starting at 3,500 because there's always going to be a guy that'll do it for $3,000 or even 2,500 or whatever. I mean, systems are different, overhead is different, sizes are different, whatever. We're not here to talk about that, but if I say starting at 3,500, instantly that's going to remove all the people that aren't willing to spend 3,500 off my list, off my radar. I'm instantly qualifying those leads right now. I may not get as many leads. I may not get as many quotes, but I'm also not going to waste my time on people that are only willing to pay $1,000. Well, we're not putting floor paint on a concrete floor that's not prepped. There's a lot of work that goes into this. There's a lot of equipment that goes into this. There's a lot of material that goes into this. I would be drastically losing money if I was doing garage floors for $1,000 on a 2-car garage. Same thing for carpet cleaning. You could say carpet cleaning, residential carpet cleaning, 3 rooms starting at $200. Now you may say that's kind of high for a starting rate. Most people will have a minimum of 100 or 150. Yeah, that's true. And maybe your normal minimum is 100 or 150. But at a home show, I want to weed out all the people that are just going to waste my time. I mean, if you spend 4 hours trying to get 2 jobs for $100 each, you're really not making money, man. Not that you're trying to gouge people, but just keep your image up there, and that'll weed out all the tire kickers at a home show. That's what I did. Once I figured that out for home shows, I had a lot better closing rate, and it was much more worth my while to do those home shows. So direct mail, I never really had a lot of success doing direct mail outside of maybe doing a 5-round, which is basically you do a job for somebody and then you drop a postcard in the mail and it hits their 5 closest neighbors. That's called a 5-round. SendJim was a software that I used for that, and it worked okay. I didn't get a ton of business from it, but it was nice. It was automated. It was cheap. It let people know who I was. You can do drip campaigns as well. So I do like it, but I wouldn't just do a blanket postcard mailing to the entire suburb that I'm in. You're just going to waste a ton of money on that. I wouldn't recommend that. But just to the people in the neighborhood, sure. Reminder postcards. Hey, it's been 6 months. Hey, it's been 9 months. It's been 12 months. It's time for your next cleaning. Yeah, I think those work great. That keeps your repeat percentage high for residential. So I do like that. Let's see, email automation. Anything you can do to put into an email drip campaign where you can do a postcard drip campaign, you can do an email drip campaign, you can even do just a regular letter campaign. There's even software that'll do a voicemail bomb campaign. What that means is you do a job, you mark it complete, and then that drip starts dripping. Every 3 months, it drips a drop. And what that means is every 3 months, a postcard gets mailed, an email goes out, a voicemail goes out to their voicemail box without their phone even ringing. It's pretty cool that some of that software, is that it's out there. You can do these drip campaigns. Make it a 12-month campaign for carpet cleaning, maybe a 16 or 18-month campaign for carpet cleaning. For epoxy floors, I like to do a 12-month drip campaign, but that's going to be more based on a referral drip campaign, not a repeat service campaign, because epoxy, it's usually one and done, maybe some service, maybe some cleaning down the road. But for the most part, you're going to do the garage, and then it's going to be who else do you know that wants the garage done. So that drip campaign is going to look a little bit different. It's going to be more focused on a referral program, whereas with cleaning restoration, or at least, well, yeah, restoration too, but primarily cleaning, you just want that repeat business. You want to elevate that lifetime value of that customer. It's going to cost you a little bit to do that with these drip campaigns, but with email automation, it's very easy. It's very cheap if you just have the subscription to that software, and you can get some really good repeat business by doing that. Another thing you can do is just from a sales psychology when you're at the job, bouncing back a little bit, I forgot to mention this earlier. When you're collecting payment, or not when you're collecting payment, I'm sorry, when you're entering the information into your system for the first time you're doing their home, it's a first-time customer. Any question that you can ask that's a yes question, that's going to build that sales psychology to get them to say yes more. It builds trust. It builds a positive experience. People are paying for their carpet cleaning, but they're also paying for an experience, because even if you got their carpet really, really clean, really quick, at a very fair or cheap price, if you're just creepy and they don't trust you and you're weird, they're not going to call you back, especially if they have kids. So the experience is almost more important, in my opinion, than the price or the quality of the cleaning. As long as you're meeting expectations with quality and price, if you're exceeding expectations with the experience, that's what's going to bring that referral. Many referrals, they're like a brand ambassador at that point, repeat business with them. So back to the yes questions. What's your name? What's your address? What's your phone number? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Can you confirm this is your address? Correct. Can you confirm this is your phone number? Correct. Do you prefer text message? No, actually, that's not a yes question. Is it okay if I text you, or do you prefer a phone call? Now, even though that's more of an open-ended question, most people will say yes to a text message, so that helps. Anytime you can ask a question that generates them to say yes, they just get accustomed to saying yes, and it's a positive, uplifting response. So now maybe it comes time to your upsells. So, hey, are you happy with the service that I did here in your living room? Or I mean, you're not going to word it that way. That sounds quirky, but did this come out the way you're expecting? Now, of course, if they say no, it gives you an opportunity to right then and there to address it, fix it before you leave, so it doesn't turn into a callback or a bad review. Maybe they almost feel bad and they just don't want to say, it's okay, it's acceptable, I'll pay you, now get out of my house. By saying, hey, what do you think? Did this come out the way you expected? If they say yes, okay, problem solved, move on. But they also just said yes. Okay, awesome. Now what about this, or what about that? Or, hey, while I'm here, do you want me to do your chair? Your couch came out great. You want me to do your chair to match? Sure. You want me to do your kitchen chairs? They're $5 each. It won't take me long at all. I can do the tables around your kitchen. You got kids that are dropping food all over the place. Maybe just an area of their tile kitchen on the floor in front of the dishwasher and the sink. Maybe they don't want to pay you to do all their tile and grout in their whole kitchen, but maybe just that one section by the sink and the dishwasher that gets really dirty the most. So it helps you do more upsell closure rate by just asking them yes questions. But it also brings things to light that if they're not happy, they have the opportunity to say no, and then you can address it right then and there. It's good customer service, and you can take maybe that bad experience and turn it into a positive experience, while you're there. Because if they had a bad experience, they may not always want to tell you, because they may just kind of feel bad, or they don't want to be that guy, So it just gives that opportunity. But that is all. I don't want to go too much longer because I've already spoken longer than I expected. We're about 38 minutes in. I was intending to make this like a 20-minute video. So my apologies for going so long, but hopefully this was more detail, more information than you needed to help you guys out. On-site SEO, off-site SEO, content, keep it consistent, keep it real, get customers to share content, get a referral program, anything you can do. If you can think of it, fire on all cylinders, because if you're not going to go full throttle. I kind of like that saying. Can't trademark it. I won't trademark it. But anyway, comment on this video if you have any questions, comments. If you think this sucked, tell me. I'll change it. I like feedback too. But if it went well, great. Comment that too. We all like to hear constructive and positive feedback. Let me know what you think about the video itself, and we'll continue playing with this approach. Again, we were live on Facebook in several different places on Instagram and on YouTube. So I'm going to check it out. Hopefully things didn't go too crazy because this is the first time I've done a full stream on all these different outlets. But yeah, have any questions, reach out. I'll respond to any comments that you guys post later after I review some of the footage. And we'll go from there. I'll do another video maybe this weekend. If not this weekend, maybe next week. And keep an ear out. Hope you guys have a good weekend.